I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be weighing my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. From the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. Y'all welcome in, right? So we're going to talk about what happened tonight on Monday Night Raw. Excuse the delay. The delay was because of the overtime game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the LA Chargers, which the LA Chargers did win 22-19. But we'll get into that after we start talking about what happened tonight. So on Raw, Gunther started. He opened up the show. Uh, He's pretty much telling y'all he gonna make John Cena tap out. Um, talk about how great John Cena was. It's gonna be his honor to finish out Cena's match. Finish out the match, his career with him quitting or tapping out. And he's telling him you better be careful because he gonna do some stuff to really make you look bad, submitting and quitting in this thing. So Gunther was just talking. The crowd was cheering for Cena, all of these other things, but of course John Cena wasn't coming out because he's not there. So excuse me. That was the opening segment to the show. Uh, the first match of the show actually was Io Sky versus Kyrie Singh. Kyrie Singh, excuse me. These two former partners, uh, they started off the match back and forth. Uh, then Io got the advantage by hitting a suplex on the apron, and she started attacking her. And then as soon as Io starts to get involved, uh, Oscar gets involved, and then Rhea comes out and chases her around the ring. So as those two are still going at it, uh, EO is getting herself together after that, and then hits the moonsault off the top rope, gets the 3 count, gets the victory. So EO Sky defeats Kairi Sane. I don't if so is it a prerequisite to the tag team match that they're gonna have? I don't know, but that's what it's looking like. Um, but it was a good match. Like I said, they worked together before, but not in the capacity of going against each other. So they pretty much knew each other moves. That's why the match was pretty much back and forth. Um, hi, I like cookies, and hi, Creative K. Uh, so backstage, Logan Paul is sitting there talking about what Rey Mysterio did to him last week, slapped him in his face, whatever. Uh, so Paul Heyman gave him the brass knuckles, like, listen, you can do whatever you need to do, but you ain't here by yourself. So he gave him brass knuckles, gave him an idea to go on out there and attack Rey Mysterio. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio match was supposed to be against Finn Balor, but Logan Paul attacked him there. Before he even got to the ring. And then, they started fighting. Rey Mysterio tried to he got his opportunity to get the 619, but then the Masked Man that was at War Games came through and stopped he stopped Rey Mysterio, hitting him with a curb stomp. Security chased him, got him out of there. Uh, and Logan Paul, you got to knock him out. And then LA Knight came down and then, said, yo, we might as well have a match tonight. Sick of you guys. I can't get my hands on everybody, but I can get my hands on you. I'm paraphrasing pretty much. So that match was made tonight on the show, heading towards later on in the night. The next match was for the tag team championships. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the War Raiders. Uh, the AJ Lee and Dragon Lee. I said AJ Lee and Dragon Lee. AJ Lee, that's AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They started off hot. It was good to see the War Raiders. We haven't seen them in a while, but they started off early. New Day was down there acting like they was the next contenders watching the match at the announce table. Uh, so then things started to change. Dragon Lee got caught up in some drama. He tags AJ Styles. AJ Styles come back. He does all the movement around. Things start to get uh, combative. AJ Lee, uh, AJ Styles, excuse me, ends up saving a pin. Then he hits a phenomenal forearm and gets the pin. So the AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defends their belt successfully against the War Raiders. Uh, but after that, New Day gets in the ring. They want to talk to them. They want to talk to the champ. Like, we want our rematch. We demand a rematch. Then all of a sudden, we hear some music. It's the Usos come out. And the Usos telling everybody, yo, guess what? We back in this. What you mean you back in this? They back in the tag team title hunt. Or they back in the tag team form. So the Usos have announced that they are combining themselves to become the actual Usos. And the funny part about it was he said, okay, Dragon Lee, you don't know who I am. AJ Styles, you don't know who we are. But they do, talking about the New Day. So they sit there with crazy. Uh, Jay telling everybody, listen, we getting everything back. That, for me, leads me to think that something else is getting ready to occur. I'll have that conversation a little bit later about what I really thought that meant. But they just told everybody, listen, we back and we getting everything we gonna start we deserve because we ain't been winning individually. So we're gonna come together and we're gonna work together. We're gonna run the tag team division as we used to. Real is what's going on. So once again, Jimmy and Jay Uso have announced that they are back as tag team partners, ready to call shots and run the show. Try to play New Day at the same time, but hey, y'all know Jimmy and Jay, they talk game in that ring is something different, but they can back it up. So once again, the New Day, the Usos are back as tag team partners. So then we had a Stephanie Vaquer. She came out to have a conversation. Uh, she was being interviewed by Jackie Redmond in the ring. Nikki Bella came out, tried to interrupt that. Uh, Raquel Rodriguez dropped her. She's like, listen, any place, anytime, shorty. Talking to Stephanie Vaquer, she gonna be there. Like, I'm ready to fight you on site. So, but then after that promo, we had another women's singles match: Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Uh, Roxanne and you know Roxanne and Lyra, they from NXT, so they had some battles before, so they started a new one up here. Lyra started off hot. She started fast. Uh, she tried to get she got a couple moves in, tried to get a quick pin that was broken up. Uh, you got Liv and them down there, Liv and Bailey down there watching. Then Lyra goes for the Nightwing later on as they go back and forth. Liv Morgan just gets enough interference to interrupt it. Uh, Raquel Roxanne just rakes her in the eyes, and she hit her with pop rocks, get the 3 counts. So Roxanne does defeat Lyra in that match. Pretty good match, back and forth. The ladies did hold it down tonight. In that match in particular, as well as the Kyrie and EO match. Uh, but good win for Roxanne. As I said, the impromptu match between LA Knight and Logan Paul was, I believe this is the main event. Uh, Logan Paul jumped out on him early before the match started, took the advantage. Uh, LA Knight trying to recover, took him a little bit, uh, but once he did, uh, the what you call them dudes? The Vision came out, the Bronze came out, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and after that, it was on like popcorn. They just they put a number on them. Even though the referee got rid of those guys in the beginning, it wasn't enough. As LA Knight hits the frog splash, gets a 3 count. So Logan Paul did defeat LA Knight, and then after, like I said, after that, those fellas came back. Braun Breaker hit him with a spear. Bronson Reed hit him tsunami. Then they was pummeling him, pummeling him, pummeling him. They finally got him up out of there. Took him in the back. He was showing that he was hurt. Even when they get to the back, they did some more work to him. Logan Paul and Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Uh, nah, they didn't reveal him. He came out twice. He even came out in the LA Knight match and stomped LA Knight at the table. That's why I said he was getting pummeled. So um, but even in, like I said, in the back, just LA Knight getting hit with tsunami still. Oh my God, he was getting tore up back there. Tsunami, Logan Paul pummeling him. So I don't think we'll see LA Knight for a while, which is probably good because he was on a losing streak anyway. It's probably he got an early Christmas break because I don't think he'd be at main event anyhow. He should be back in. I think he'll be back in time for the January 5th Raw event, Raw on Netflix celebration. Um, But they, like I said, they wheeled them out. You got Adam Pearce at the end of the night talk about get him back, get some help back here. Um, but also in tonight's Raw, excuse me, we got a oh god, what was the dude's name? We got a new match. I'm not sure if it's for a belt, but we got AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They will be facing Javon Evans and I forgot the other kid's name from NXT. That match will be taking place on main event. So that's the fourth match on the card. As we know, well, for those of you that don't know, Obafemi and Ricky Saints had a match Saturday for the NXT title. Uh, the winner of that match, they was going to face Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event. In a back and forth match, Obafemi did defeat Ricky Saints, so Obafemi will be facing Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. I, you know, I did suggest that people watch that match so they can see what the possibilities are. Even if Ricky Saints won, you would have saw him in action. Uh, going going with at Obafemi to see if he can match up with Cody Rhodes. So that's going to be an interesting match. We already know John Cena's fighting Gunther, and we know that Bailey is fighting Sol Ruka from NXT, and she had a great showing at NXT Deadline Saturday. Uh, even though she didn't win her match because it was a 5-person match. They had a deadline match, meaning they had 25 minutes to get the most pins. Kalani Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, she did win that match. Uh, so I'm expecting to see her sooner rather than later, as well as Sol Ruka. Uh, you know, but this Saturday night's main event is a pre. This is what John Cena asked for. He asked for these guys, to display the future coming up, and that's what Cody. That's why Cody said, "I'm going to allow the winner of that NXT championship to come through and win and face me on Saturday night's main event." And he's keeping his word, so it's Obafemi versus him, and Sol Ruka is like I said, is going to face Bailey and Javon Evans. We've seen Javon. If you haven't seen Javon Evans, he's been on SmackDown a couple of times. He did have a match with Gunther, even though it didn't look the way that a lot of people believe it was. But he is going to tag. I gotta find out who he's tagging up with. This is really annoying me. But he's tagging up with somebody to face AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. It's somebody from NXT though, so it's two NXT guys. Oh, excuse me, no, it ain't. It's TNA. Leon Slater. He's from TNA, but lately TNA and NXT have been coming together with matches and things like that. So that's why I presumed he was from NXT, but he's from TNA. But Javon Evans and Leon Slater will be facing AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I don't think it's for a belt. I don't think it's a tag team title defense. But like I said, those are the 4 matches right now. Oh no, it is. Oh no, it's not. It just says World Tag Team Champions will be facing them. And John Cena and Gunther, Bailey versus Sol Ruka, Cody versus Obafemi. Those are the 4 matches that will be happening Saturday. We will go over these matches and I will predict them Friday night. Um, but that was pretty much the show for Raw. It's it was pretty good. Like I said, the action was pretty good. The fact that we got to see the War Raiders for the first time in a while, that was cool. Even though I didn't think they would have a chance to win the belt. But after that match, like I said, we found out that Jimmy and Jay's coming back to become tag team players in the field now, which is going to be interesting. But here's the question: will it be on Raw? Will it be on SmackDown? You know what I mean? Which one will it be? Uh, but I guess it's Raw because they came out on Raw, and we know the Wyatt Six are the tag. If I'm not mistaken, the Wyatt Six are the tag team champions on SmackDown. So it's been so long since I've seen a tag team title match over there. I don't even know who's doing what over there. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, on the last time I was looking at SmackDown, the MFT took the paint off their face, so they just back to normal. I guess Halloween was over or something for them. So but it's a lot that's getting ready to happen, and we know that not Survivor Series, King of the Ring is coming up within the next month. So what they're going to do now is they're going to play down. They're going to rev up the Saturday night main event card on Friday. Probably have a couple of matches on SmackDown. If I can't remember, I know there's some. I just can't remember right now. Um, and then they'll head straight into Saturday night's main event, which will probably give you some clues of who will be doing what as far as the Royal Rumble. Then after that, you'll probably hear names start to be dropped for Royal Rumble and things of that nature. Uh, but there was, like I said, there's no real complaint. But LA Knight, I don't know, man. I don't like. I don't. I mean, he's been working all year or whatever the case may be. But he had that one little run with the. Well, he had a couple little runs with the U.S. belt. Disappeared a couple times as far as not being relevant in matches and on cards a couple times. But this, what they did to him tonight, you have to believe that they're not going to show up. He's not going to be around for a little bit of time. Like I said, maybe the Royal Rumble he'll come back, or maybe the January 5th Netflix 1 year anniversary thing show. But I don't see him coming back before that because, like I said, he got like tsunami like 3 times. He got speared. He got knocked out. All of these things happen in one time. So it's just odd that you know to expect him to be back after that would be a hard thing to look forward to. It really would. Uh, but going back to NXT, uh, Javon Evans also became a number one contender because he won the deadline challenge to face Obafemi. That'll be in January as well. I think it's right after the January 5th Netflix show. But he had the most pins. He had 3 pins within the 25-minute time limit. So that's what makes him the number one contender against Obafemi. Um, like I said, they have real high hopes for him. Uh they see him as someone that could carry the torch. But we also know, like I said, some of these Javon Evans may win because I think Obafemi will be transferring over to SmackDown. That's my prediction. I don't know. I don't. I just see that. Well, I'm pretty sure Obafemi is going to be in the what is that? The Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, whatever you call that January event. I think he'll be there for that. So it won't. It's not hard for me to see that they'll drop the belt just because he's going over to SmackDown because they really don't have nothing left for him to actually do in NXT. So I wouldn't be shocked about it. But it's just you know it's just what we think is going to happen going forward as far as NXT uh, members becoming main roster people. I think Kalani Jordan is going to be on the women's side. I think they're getting ready to push Sol Ruka a little bit more. Uh, so we just gotta stay tuned. Now we know normally after tonight they'll have a NXT show tomorrow. I think you guys should check it out to see who are possibly the up and coming people that's going to come over there. And besides, you might see some TNA people or at the same time who's also trying to get to the main roster spot um, on the show. So I would suggest you guys watch that. Let's go. Let's go to the NFL. As I said, the Eagles lost tonight. They lost tonight 22 to 19 in overtime. Let me give y'all some scores. I mean, let me give y'all some info on this game. And then I will tell y'all what's going to happen as far as let's get down to the stats. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert, who played with a broken hand tonight, was 12 of 20 left hand, 12 of 26, 139 yards, one touchdown, an interception. He was the leading he was the leading rusher at the same time with 10 carries for 66 yards. And Keenan Allen was the leading catcher with 3 receptions, but Kamani Vidal had the 60-yard pass play, which was the longest of the night for them. Justin Herbert lost the fumble. Uh, it was a very messy game, and for the Eagles, who dropped to 8-5, but still is in the NFC East lead. Jalen Hurts was 21 of 40, 240 yards, no touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He had a horrible night. When I say he had a horrible night, I don't care if they dropped 2 interceptions and it fell in their lap. They're going to charge it to the quarterback. Saquon Barkley broke out of his lack of 100-yard rushing games. He had 122 rushing yards tonight on 20 carries, including a 52-yard rushing touchdown. A.J. Brown had 100 receiving yards, but Dallas Goedert led the team with 8 receptions. It was a crazy game. Jalen Hurts lost the fumble. This is how crazy the game was. Jalen Hurts threw an interception. He threw an interception. Saquon Barkley stripped the interceptor. The ball came back to Jalen Hurts. He possessed the ball, tried to turn around. The ball got stripped from him. That's his fumble. And the Chargers recovered the fumble. So that's how you see how crazy this game was as far as the wildness, the craziness of tonight's game. But this game closes out week 14 of the NFL. Let me see if they updated. Yes, they did. So when you go back and look at what's going on and the playoff positions, you see that in the AFC, the Broncos is still number 1, even though they're tied with the Patriots. Patriots and Broncos. Patriots 1 and 2. The Jaguars with their win over the Indianapolis Colts claim the AFC South, which is the 3rd division, and the Pittsburgh Steelers with their win over the Baltimore Ravens claim the NFC North. Those are the 4 division leaders. Now the wild card guys are the Chargers, who won tonight, Buffalo, who had a heck of a comeback in the fourth quarter against the Bengals Sunday, and the Texans, who had a great win against the Kansas City Chiefs, who made the Chiefs. They stopped the Chiefs from winning the AFC West. The AFC West is no longer in the Chiefs' vision. The playoffs is looking just as bleak as they are the 10th. They are 10th at 6-7. Uh, the the Colts are at 8-5, but they are behind their two division teams, the Texans, who is in the 7th seed, uh, and the Jags, who take the lead in the AFC South. Over in the NFC, uh, the Rams with a 10-3 record is the 1 seed. The Packers with their victory over the Bears take over the NFC North and become the number 2 seed. The Eagles still at the number 3 seed with their loss tonight at 8-5. They're leaders of the NFC East. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 7-6, at the 4 seed, tied for the NFC South with uh, the Panthers, but have the tiebreaker. Seattle is the first wildcard team at 10-3. The 49ers are the second with 9-4, and the Bears, who lost the division lead Sunday, they still are the number 7 seed in the playoffs. Detroit is a game behind the Bears, and the Panthers is holding on to hope to win the division at least to get into the playoffs at 7-6. So those are the games. That's the playoff seedings for as of tonight, week 14. So now what I'll do is I'll run a couple NBA scores because this is a light night in the NBA tonight. It's only 3 games, so I can give you scores of that scenario. The 3 games tonight uh, will start in Indianapolis, as the Sacramento Kings came to play the Pacers, and the Pacers get the win 116-105. In Minnesota, the T Wolves hosted the Phoenix Suns, and the Sun leaves 108-105 with a victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And in New Orleans, San Antonio comes to visit and gets the victory 135-132 to gain their victory. Now, tomorrow in the NBA, they will be having the NBA Cup tournament. It's the final, not the final four, it's the final 8. But this is the 2 teams tomorrow that play will be the Eastern Conference. Uh, the Miami Heat will be heading to Orlando to play the Magic. That game will start at 6 o'clock. And in Toronto, the New York Knicks will be playing the Toronto Raptors at 8:30, pretty much after the first game. And the winners of those 2 games will face each other on the 13th, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's 13th. And those games will be in Vegas. But before that, we got the Western Conference uh, Cup winners that'll be facing each other. The Los Angeles Lakers will host the San Antonio Spurs uh, in LA, but that'll be the 10 o'clock Eastern game. And the Phoenix Suns will be going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I don't I don't know who's gonna bet against the Thunder, but they those are the 2 games tomorrow. Well, tonight and tomorrow, because we are in Tuesday actually. So those are the games that are on deck. So there's going to be very light basketball for the next couple of days. Um, Like I said, that'll lead to the 13th, and then the 13th, those two winners will face each other on December 16th to see who's going to be the NBA Cup champion. Uh, so that's the way that the NBA is going for the next couple of days. But let's just go ahead and look at who's playing who in the NFL week 15. Right. So Thursday night's game is going to be the Falcons heading to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. That's going to be a big game because if the Buccaneers win, they stay on top of the division, and if they don't, technically the Panthers would be in first place. Sunday games will be as follow: the 1 o'clock games will be the Ravens versus the Bengals, the Cardinals versus the Texans, the Jets facing the Jags. Kansas City will be hosting the Chargers. The Raiders will be heading to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Browns will be heading to Chicago to play the Bears. The Commanders will face the Giants in the MetLife Stadium. I almost said the Meadowlands. Uh, the Bills will see if they can get the Patriots to lose to keep a hope of the AFC East title. The Colts. These are the 4 o'clock games. The Colts will head to Seattle to play the Seahawks. In that game, then for those of you that don't know, Daniel Jones got hurt and is out for the rest of the season. He was already playing on a broken leg, but then he tore his Achilles Sunday, so he will not be playing. But they take the trip to Seattle anyway. The Titans will play the 49ers, the Packers, and the Broncos. I don't know why they didn't switch this game to the 8 o'clock game, but I think this should have been the 8 o'clock game. Me personally, because that's two division rivals. Um, that's the 4:25 game. The Panthers play the Saints. As I just stated, the Panthers could be playing for first place if the Bucks lose on Thursday night. The Detroit Lions are heading to LA to play the Rams. The test for the Lions as they still playing for their playoff hopes. And here's the 8:20 game. The Dallas Cowboys will be hosting the Minnesota Vikings. This game has no relevance as far as the playoffs. As you can see, as I just showed you, the Lions, the Cowboys are behind the Lions, but they're 2.5 games out. So I don't see the relevance of that game being shown at 8:20. And then the Monday night game is going to be the Dolphins, who's playing kind of well, but I don't think they can actually get to the playoffs. But they be playing the Steelers, and if the Steelers lose and the Ravens wins, they will be back at 500, a tie at the the AFC North. So those are the scores and the highlights of what's going on. But like I said, it was a light day in the world of sports. Uh, Basketball was spoken about. We spoke about what happened on Raw tonight. We hope LA Knight gets the rest after the beating he took tonight. Uh, we just learned about a tag team match that was added to Saturday night's main event. So all of these things have occurred, and we'll be back Friday night to talk about what happened on Thursday night football, to recap Friday night SmackDown, and talk about Sunday's games in the NFL and all the other games that happened in the NBA as well. Just a reminder that on this channel we pick the games, all the games, to see who's going. We see who's going to win each game. Like I might pick I might pick the Falcons. Somebody else might pick the other team. We do it for fun, but we doing it, to add cohesion and have conversations around the football games. If you would like to uh, put your picks in, just leave it on the community wall. We'll put it on the chart and see who wins the most games this week. My co-host, my 33 brother, the word won. He won with his record being 9-5, and my record being 8-6. So he won this week. Congratulations to him. We'll be back at it this week, but we'll start Thursday night. We try to get all the picks. We will allow you to pick the Thursday night game because we understand that Sundays they still, you might want to do injury reports and things like that to see who you think is going to win or have your better chances of winning the picks that you choose. So, but like I said, if you could pick Thursday night and then pick the rest of the games Sunday before 1 o'clock, before kickoff starts at 1 o'clock. And we like I said, we do this for fun. We do this to come together, have sports talks and stuff like that. We talk about all of these things. Um, but we'll be back Friday night to have that conversation. Uh, from the Channel 9 studios. Oh, wait, first and foremost, I appreciate everybody coming through. The scores and the scores from tonight's games were brought to you by the 9%, where better you is a better us. With that being said, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33 signing off. I will see you guys Friday. I appreciate you guys showing up.